Across Morecambe Bay, people are coming together around an idea. What would health and well-being as a social movement look like for the Bay? Over the past year, people from broad sectors of society have drawn together to learn and develop skills to enable this idea to grow. Doctors, teachers, community members, people in recovery, senior police officers, maternity services, artists, comedians, voluntary sector workers have all been training in the art of hosting, a series of tools and practices to enable participatory conversation grounded in an understanding of working with complexity. We asked a few of the latest groups to gather together to learn, listen and build this movement, to share something of what they have got out of the training.
World Cafe, there's a design lab, which I felt the design lab specifically was something that would really help me. It's going to really enable me to go back into my organisations and start to listen to people differently and allow our organisation to hopefully engage and work with the communities.
If I'm going to pick out one thing in particular, it's learning to choose the right question to ask at the right time. I'm certainly going to put a lot more thought into not being ad hoc with just making conversation with people, but to have a purpose behind it, and so that's not just helping me as a person, but it's certainly pointed us in gathering information for how we can better serve the community as well.
The cafe conversations I've seen this work completely differently. In the NHS we tend to model and take these kind of tools, but then I think we stifle them. We put them back into the rigid way that we're used to working. So we have an agenda for a meeting. We kind of steer the conversation, and what I've learned today is that actually we're going to reframe all that, rework it all, get the groups together and let them steer and decide what's being talked about. So I think that's one of the biggest learnings for me.
The amazing people that I've met here are absolutely unbelievable. I've found many contacts, people that work with our people that work with the NHS. But also I found the actual training side of things absolutely brilliant in the way that it's taught me a better way to facilitate groups of elderly people, groups of vulnerable people, how to put questions across more professionally and more meaningfully, things like that. It's been absolutely brilliant for that.
So this is the second art of hosting training that I've been involved in. I'm starting to see the growing together now of a critical mass of people from all sectors and from residents across Morecambe and Lancaster and the wider area. So what I see happening now is that people start to organise into little groups and say, how shall we meet outside of this process? How are you going to help me and how am I going to help you to take this forward in our day-to-day work? So that could be a completely new way of working.
What I'm really hoping for is that people and agencies can work together instead of sometimes pulling against each other to make this a really happy place to be that just allows us to make the most of this beautiful place that we're in and to get the most out of lives that at the moment aren't as rich as they could be and should be, and we're not tapping into the potential of what there is in this bay. So I'm hoping that this sort of work will allow us to find that potential and light a new enthusiasm up in the area.
It takes new skills for a new time. So I think one of the geniuses of the art of hosting, among many other ways of stopping and saying, how can we be together in a new way, in a non-hierarchical way, in a non-expert way, and yet not be disempowered by that. How to find a new way of being, which is collaborative, requires new skills, how to be together, how to empower one another while not necessarily disempowering anybody else at the same time. These power differentials that lots of people have looked at over many years, they just rear their heads all the time. So every time there's a new moment for new ways of being, we have to learn new skills, and art of hosting is one of those.
If you would like to know more or are interested in joining this growing conversation or future trainings, get in touch via the following contact details.